What if a fake marriage didn't just fool immigration but secretly unlocked the gates to a U.S. military base? Tonight, a bombshell federal indictment exposes a nationwide fraud network accused of recruiting American service members, staging love stories for cash, and attempting to buy real Department of Defense ID cards. 11 people are now charged in a transnational scheme that prosecutors say crossed state lines, compromised military security, and turned personal vows into a high-stakes criminal enterprise. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, U.S. Immigration News. Breaking: 11 charged in major marriage fraud scheme targeting U.S. military members. Federal authorities have unsealed a major indictment accusing 11 people in a sophisticated marriage fraud scheme that recruited U.S. service members, especially Navy personnel, to enter sham marriages with foreign nationals to secure immigration benefits and unauthorized access to U.S. military installations. What happened? According to federal prosecutors, the scheme took place between March 2024 and February 2025, and involved a transnational criminal network that aggressively recruited U.S. citizens, particularly active duty service members, to enter fraudulent marriages with Chinese nationals. These were not genuine relationships. Instead, participants staged fake wedding photos and fabricated evidence to fool immigration officials. The couples agreed ahead of time to a tiered payment plan. An upfront cash payment for entering the sham marriage. A second payment after the foreign spouse secured legal immigration status. A final payment when the couple divorced. Some conspirators even bribed military personnel to obtain unauthorized Department of Defense ID cards that would allow foreign nationals access to secure military bases. This is a rare case where marriage fraud intersects with potential security breaches at military installations. Who's been charged? 11 individuals are named in the federal indictment, including people based in New York, Maryland, Florida, and several from China. All face conspiracy charges, each carrying up to 5 years in federal prison. 2 of the defendants face additional marriage fraud charges tied to a sham marriage in Jacksonville, which could bring more prison time if convicted. Already guilty, military members. This isn't the first time the scheme has surfaced. For Navy personnel, Raymond Zumba, Brinio Urania, Morgan Chambers, and Jacinth Bailey have already pleaded guilty to related charges. Their sentencing is still pending. Officials say these cases highlight how criminal networks can exploit immigration laws, even infiltrating military ranks, and emphasize the importance of safeguarding both national security and the integrity of the legal immigration system. What's new in this case? This latest announcement updates and expands previous reports by unsealing a formal federal indictment against 11 suspects. Heavy checkmark highlighting that authorities actively arrested some suspects and are searching for others. Confirming the utilization of bribes to get Department of Defense IDs, which could have jeopardized military base security. Reinforcing that this was more than immigration fraud, it involved intentional targeting of service members and potential national security exposure. Key rules you must know to avoid trouble. 1. You must prove a bona fide marriage. U.S. immigration law requires that marriages used to obtain residency or citizenship be genuine. Hallmarks of a legitimate marriage include things like living together, shared finances or bills, joint travel records, shared family involvement. If you cannot provide credible evidence of a real relationship, your case is likely to be scrutinized or denied. 2. Marriage fraud is a crime. Marriage fraud, entering into a marriage for the sole purpose of gaining immigration benefits, is illegal under U.S. law. Consequences include federal prison, up to 5 years or more, fines, deportation or removal proceedings, being barred from future immigration benefits. 3. Military ID access is strictly regulated. Obtaining Department of Defense identification cards through bribery or deception is a serious federal violation that can also lead to additional criminal charges, loss of military benefits, court-martial or discharge if you are service personnel. This high-profile case shows federal law enforcement is paying close attention to marriage fraud schemes, especially when they intersect with national security and the armed forces. Anyone considering marriage involving immigration benefits should know the law requires legitimacy and full transparency. False documentation and staged evidence will not only get you denied, it could land you in federal prison. What made this scheme different? According to federal authorities, this was not a small-scale fraud. It was structured, multi-state, and financially engineered. Investigators say the network specifically targeted U.S. military personnel, offering them cash to enter into fake marriages. These unions were then packaged to look authentic, complete with staged romantic photos and fabricated relationship histories designed to pass immigration scrutiny. What happens next? Federal agents are now in a race to locate the remaining suspects, while prosecutors prepare for what could become a landmark courtroom battle. If convictions follow, the case will likely trigger tougher background checks for military-linked marriages, stricter controls on base ID issuance, expanded investigations into similar fraud networks. Because this isn't just about fake marriages, it's about how a criminal enterprise allegedly turned personal relationships into a gateway to one of the most sensitive institutions in the country. That is all for today, in this video. Please hit like and subscribe for an upcoming video. See you later, till then, take care.